We should be live. What is up? What is up? What is up? Out the tweet.
No.
What's
Go
up?
on.
What's gone?
Major. Oh, you got the bad head going on.
Okay. What's up, guys? Wow, we got people joining early for this one. We love to see it. I saw 11 people waiting at one point. That's crazy. Hello, Hugo. Hello, Shadow. Hello, AT Field, Jonathan, Rickster. How you guys all doing? You guys ready for some Miles Davis? Saw some Miles Davis fans in the chat. What's up, Olivia? Up to 2 commands real quick. What's up, Love Stance? I think I did it too quickly for this bot. Can't handle the pressure. All right. Let me start jamming for you guys real quick. Ready? $18 people here already. Wow. Miles Davis fans. Damn. Okay. Remove this. Hello, hello. What's up, Cav Queens? Creatively Conscious Coaching. That is a long name. Hi, everybody. I'm new here. Rickster sent me. Well, glad to see you here. And shout out to Rickster for promoting our stream. We appreciate it. Night there in Amsterdam. Good night to you, too, Jonathan. Hope Amsterdam's a banger. All right. We guys ready to start?
Hope a city is a banger.
Hope a city is a banger. Y'all ready to start?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the 3 Idiots Talking podcast. Today, we are here with an album that I know Cole has been waiting to do for quite a while. I believe, if I'm correct, this is our first jazz album we have ever reacted to. Am I right? I think so. I don't remember reacting to one.
I suppose it is.
I guess it is. So today we are here to react to Miles Davis's Kind of Blue, a very, very well-known and popular jazz album, critically, and I think it's pretty popularly acclaimed as well. It came out in 1959. It is only 5 songs, but it is 45 minutes long. Outside of just being a fantastically well-known jazz album, Miles Davis, as a jazz artist, one of the most famous of all time. But you know what? I'm not the person to describe this album. I'm not the right one. Cole here is a massive Miles Davis fan and just a massive jazz fan in general. Cole, talk to us about Kind of Blue and why people should care about it.
Well,
this
is a pretty important one for the whole genre, really. I mean, I don't know exactly which album and like what number this is in his discography, but it's, you know, he had been going for a few years, but he just like back then they would just release albums all the fucking time, just constantly. Oh, yeah. So it's probably like his, I don't know, 15th album or something crazy like that. I don't know.
Wow.
I get conflicting information on which number it is because records are shaky back then. This was released in 1959, and this is essentially really the first ever jazz album that is in the genre of modal jazz. There have been stuff similar to this, like cool jazz before.
What'd you call it? Moto jazz?
Modal.
Okay. Just never heard that term before. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he had done stuff before this in like 1957 with his album Birth of the Cool, where he played cool jazz, which is in a similar vein to this, just like stylistically. But this album is the first time where when he was making it, he basically told all the people, all the musicians that were in his band, like, we're going to play all of these songs in a specific mode which is where modal comes from.
Oh.
And it just kind of transformed what jazz, like it basically just invented a whole new subgenre of jazz music and kind of just totally changed the game.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking up.
Incredible.
I wanted to Google this because I've never heard the term modal jazz till you just said it, and I want to Wikipedia this because somebody asked, "What is modal jazz?"
Yeah,
And
it uses scales instead of chord progressions.
according to Wikipedia, it's jazz that makes use of musical modes, like Cole said, often modulating among them, big fancy terms here, among them to accompany the chords instead of relying on one tonal center used across the piece. Those are some really big music nerd terms. Noah,
Yeah,
can you break it down what they're talking about?
Okay. Basically,
Be right
simplified
back.
version. Instead of chord progressions, it uses scales.
Okay.
Like it could be like a E minor scale, E minor pentatonic scale. It can be anything, any type of scale. If you're familiar with that stuff, it's kind of, I'm not the best at explaining what a scale is.
Well, for those who are music nerds or have played instruments before, I'm sure they know what a scale is and what a chord is. So if it's using a scale instead of a chord, they'll get that. Now, guitar players mainly use chords, correct, Noah?
Okay, let's back up a bit.
Well, a
Okay.
scale is like a series of chords, right?
It's a series of notes. Yeah,
Series of notes. Okay.
it's
And
a
so,
series of notes.
and so what he did on this was he just used a bunch of scales instead of a major or minor chord, correct?
Yeah, they just played in scales and these scales instead of your basic chord progressions.
Got it. All right. So one other thing I wanted to talk about was the influence this album had, because I did see someone in chat put a good pointed out this when they first joined, is that this album sort of set the bar, I guess you would say, for the next few decades of rock music in a way, or just music in general, because this
Or
came
rock
out
music.
music in general. I shouldn't just limit it to rock. But it really was a massive influence on not only jazz but just music, because it came out in 1959, and the next few decades we had it just had a huge influence over music in general.
It's the highest selling jazz album of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
I believe it's still to this day. I'm not aware of that leaderboard, but as far as I'm aware, it's still the highest selling jazz album of all time. And I mean, Miles Davis was always like the guy that was just trying new stuff and experimenting with jazz music and seeing what kind of stuff he could do, all sorts of shit.
yeah,
But really,
Okay, go ahead.
any and every jazz artist that has come after Miles Davis has absolutely been inspired by him, and tons of other musicians who have just used jazz music in their music, or maybe even if they didn't, they've there's a pretty good chance that almost everybody was influenced by him in some way.
Right. And I mean, Jonathan was just saying in chat, like, this influenced the Beatles heavily, and the 60s just as a decade in general. It just, so many artists that would come out in the 60s, obviously being a massive era for music, but so many artists that came out in the next the next decade were just, I mean, huge influence from Miles Davis and this album as a whole. But all right, I mean, I don't think we have to talk it up anymore. If you're a jazz fan, you obviously have heard of this, but if you're not a jazz fan, you probably still have heard of it, Kind of Blue, or you've at least heard of Miles Davis being a legendary jazz artist. One last thing I wanted to point out is the amount of features he has on this album, because there's quite a lot. John Coltrane's on.
They're not okay.
Well, I was gonna say on every song
Stop.
we got.
They're not. They're really not features. They're just those are the people that are in his band at this time.
I know, but they're not all the same for every song. I was gonna say we got Miles Davis and John Coltrane and Bill Evans on every single song. We also had Cannonball Adderley, which is a great name. Adderley? How do you use that? I thought I said his name right. And Wynton Kelly on the second song, and Paul Chambers on the second song as well. So a couple songs with some people who are not on the whole thing, but outside of that, we pretty much have the main three being Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and Bill Evans, his little group band. And John Coltrane obviously being an incredibly famous and well-known jazz player himself.
Same with Bill Evans.
There you go.
Probably my favorite piano player of all time.
It's just a massive group of jazz musicians coming together to make one of the best albums, jazz-wise, we've ever heard. But it's time to stop hyping it up and let it speak for itself. We have Kinda Blue, 1959, Miles Davis. Let's get into it, starting with So What, featuring John Coltrane, Cannonball Adderley, and Bill Evans.
I need to do that for every first song.
So many legends indeed, Jonathan. Hi, Cosmic. He changed the piano player in Freddie Freeloader because the song has a different blues feel. Interesting. What's up, GA Octavio? Welcome to the chat. I don't think I've seen you here before. Who's the bass player?
Is that Cannonball? Sure. Whatever. It's except for the big three. Well, I guess it would have to be Cannonball because nobody else is a bass player in that lineup. So
Cannonball Adderley's saxophone player. He's just not listed, I guess, on Spotify. But yeah, he is sliding around on that upright bass.
probably the standing bass.
Yeah, that's what I mean by upright bass.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you get the Pink Floyd notification that I just got, Cole?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. Pink Floyd
Oh, I
at
see it.
Pompeii. Drop it on Spotify.
Remixed it.
Oh.
I'm
Interesting.
looking forward to that.
He gets fucking jiggy with it on this album. Live at Pompeii is getting an IMAX re-release. Somebody's hype. That's John Coltrane, right?
Or Cannonball Adderley, one of the two. What do you gotta do to get a nickname like Cannonball? Big fan.
Considering how he's playing, I would guess that it's Coltrane.
Yeah. He's pretty... He gets a little funky with it. He loves going up and down, that motherfucker. Oh.
Yeah.
Only issue with this so far, and I know it's 1959, so stereo mixing was an issue, but the left track, the left side only, was a little rough.
I really don't mind it.
I know you don't mind it.
I'll agree that's probably Coltrane because of the way he slides into his spots. still out from like his playing.
Let's find out. Indeed, that is Mr. Coltrane on the sax.
Well, AT Field, if we had a way to do this without headphones, we might try it. We really don't. So.
And now this seems like it'd be cannonball, just based off the tone change.
And AT Field, regarding what you said about like the headphones, I'm calling bullshit on that. I mean, I'm not the one I asked, but I'm calling bullshit on that.
I think for casual listening, it could be true.
Sure.
Not for like breaking down bits and pieces.
That piano, every other couple notes, is so good. Doesn't get much older than this Shadow.
Okay. Now I know why the piano is doing this hits every now and then.
Why's that?
It was to be the home base for the other instruments, to make sure they're still playing in key.
Oh.
That's why the horns right now are only doing that same up, down, da-da, because the piano's doing its own solo.
We got another super chat.
Did we really?
Yeah.
AT with a $25 super chat. Can you make another album request, please? And yet, do make, say, think. I don't know. By do make, say, think. AT Field, let's talk in DMs after the stream. But yes, you can.
For the record, if you want to make an album request, don't super chat.
Don't super chat it, please, because we can't return those if we don't want. If we say no or we don't want to do it or we have to switch it, we can't. They don't let us refund super chats. They're unrefundable. But yes, let's talk after, because I'm not. We can definitely do something. Thank you, though. Thank you a lot. I should
yeah, of course.
didn't say that from the beginning, but thank you. I hope that was obvious.
It's all good. AT.
No. Don't say sorry at all. Don't say sorry at all. You gave us money. Then you should never be apologizing for giving us. Like, that's awesome. Thank you. Sticker.
You're to watch it.
They get into a bidding war over who reviews what.
All right.
All right, that was so.
I'd like to go first.
Ooh, well, taking the reins. Go for it.
The big thing I like about this album is how much space there is. They
Okay.
give a lot of space and a lot of room for the solos. The only thing that's really keeping them in check is the piano. Besides that, it's just the drums and their solo, and I like that. I like that they get their own little time to shine in the way they make very great use of that time. I like the way they seamlessly swapped it between their solos. I'm guessing they're just live jamming and they're cueing each other in,
Yeah,
which is
makes sense.
good. Um, yeah, it's a very good song. Keeps me interested the whole time, which sometimes I can have difficulties with jazz. But no, it was very tasteful. Bass was really good too. Uh, I was a big fan of that main line it kept doing with the slide in it. That was
Mm,
good. Not as great when it started getting higher on the fretboard. That because I just don't think upright bass sound the greatest when you get up there in general.
right.
But when he was keeping the low end, I thought he sounded really good. I would give that a 9.
Woo. I have never been a huge fan of songs without lyrics, but when it comes to jazz, that entirely changes for the most part. I wanted to say one great thing about this song that I love is it is groovy and it keeps that groove banging the whole time through, whether or not that was with the Noah mentioning the piano or the bass or the trumpet. Each one comes in and adds to the groove. It takes over for a solo or two, comes in, then lets the bass take over again or the piano take over again, but they're always being led. And that drum, I mean, 9 minutes of just same thing. I got to give him a little props because the same thing on a drum can get kind of boring for 9 minutes, but he keeps it up and keeps it going. And it sounds great the whole time. Well, another thing I wanted to mention was this is 1959, right? Mixing is not great before the 60s. Hell, it's not even that great in the 60s for a lot of bands. They struggle with it. This sounds great. There's nothing that sounds too quiet or too faded or just not there. Everything sounds well received. The only thing close to even faint is the piano, but the piano, like Noah said, it's just really there to keep time. It's not really there to be a prominent effect. So it being quieter or more faded works perfectly. Noah made a great point. This type of song with the same generic type of beat over and over and over
Never
is
said that, by the way.
okay. It keep well, I was gonna say if you let me finish, it keeps you interested. Having a same type of instrumental repeated over and over can get boring 9 minutes long, but this one keeps you interested. It changes, does a couple different instrumental solos, trumpet, saxophone, trumpet again, saxophone again, in different ways. Great song. 9 to a 9.5. Cool.
Yeah, love this song. One of like the most, I mean, this whole album really is like the perfect introduction to jazz music, but like this song especially is one of the most perfect because they keep everything incredibly straightforward and simple, but they're doing it at such a high level, and especially considering the fact that no one had ever done this quite like this, like in a mode like this before.
Right.
It's incredibly impressive how well they pull it off in their first ever try. The performances, like this is something I always say about jazz music and why I love it so much. Like when jazz music is at some of its best, the performances, like every note that they're hitting, just makes sense. It's just like I don't know what else they would have played that would have sounded better than that. And I can kind of say that about pretty much like every performance on that song and pretty much every performance on this album, to be honest.
It's
They
damn
create
consistent.
they create such like this laid back, easygoing, really relaxing mood and atmosphere to it. Kind of reminiscent of like the title in some ways. Well, there's disagreements about what the title really means, but it's up for interpretation, whatever you want to take from it.
I mean, so what?
Okay. I'm just gonna let you sit there for a second and think about what you just said.
So what?
Thought about it. I'm good.
Okay, just checking. Anyway, so yeah, love that song. Amazing introduction. This song is honestly probably in the top 10 of songs that are almost a 10, but not quite. Like, that are just on the line of being a 10, but not quite. So 9.5.
Okay. Wonder where you would put this on your debut track, or not debut, but first song debut on this album. First debut
Opening
song on the album.
I don't know. It might be a top 10 album opener.
All right.
It's got a shot at it.
That's huge, especially for a jazz album. All right. Let's see what chat said. This album helped me. Oh, sorry, you were talking about something else. Very cool. I'm saying this is a still relative newcomer to jazz and being real. 8.5 to 9. Never been one of my favorites off the album. Yet you still give it 8.5 to a 9. So definitely up there, Jonathan.
It's such a perfect song.
9.6 from Rickster, a 9 from AT Field, a 9 from Cab Queens. Icyru loves this album. Just want to add to the discussion is that playing in modes instead of rapid chord changes definitely changes the mood into something much more moody than what hard bop was doing at the time.
It absolutely creates more of an atmosphere for me, at least.
It's an interesting way of looking at Zachary.
Moody.
This is like the best mixed jazz album.
The production on this album is fucking revolutionary. Like, if you listen to Birth of the Cool, which is a solid album that came out 2 years before this, the production is night and day. I mean, it's crazy how much they improved in just 2 years.
I mean, of the jazz albums I've heard, I probably agree with you.
I disagree.
Ooh. All right.
I think In a Silent Way is better.
Oh.
In a Silent Way is 10 years from now.
Yeah, and I don't care.
I'm just like, I would say that both of those
For the
albums
time.
have perfect production.
Hugo,
Hey,
I
for
was
the
writing
time,
while
it's-
Noah
yeah,
was.
but-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, for the time it's amazing, but that doesn't mean make it the best in general.
I think it's as well produced as any album.
I
I think both of them are as well produced as any album.
I mean, yeah, they're definitely all in the upper echelon of, good produced albums.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. Are you annoyed that we're talking about music on this podcast where we talk about music? Is that annoying you? You whiny little bitch.
No, not at all. Yapaholics. All right. I was writing while
So
Noah
sorry.
was talking and had to delete all the comments one by one because I have really nothing to add to it, but he gave it an 8.5. Hugo. Cole is right. Okay, we need to stop the Cole dick writing recently. It's getting a little extreme.
Is someone a little jealous that he's not getting rode anymore?
No.
His pedestrian takes of one off in the
Pedestrian.
audience.
Oh my god.
Pedestrian.
Pedestrian takes. This album is a 10. Love the album in the headphones. Icyru. The solo playing is so on point and straightforward. Another reason is also adding Bill Evans to piano, who is a big deal in cool jazz and just jazz in general. Shadow gives it a 9. I wonder why this track fell off me, though it's not one of my favorites. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. In a Silent Way is so good. I don't think
Yes,
anyone
it
here
is.
hates In a Silent Way at all, right? Yeah. I don't think so.
That is
Still need to listen
amazing.
to Bitches Brew.
Would
Have
highly
fun.
recommend.
I would not, but I could see why
Let's
somebody
just
might.
Noah's a dork.
You're a dork. That's a dork album, and you know it.
Gotta complete the Miles Davis trilogy. You gotta do it. All right,
It's
we gotta
not a
move on.
trilogy. It's
No,
not a
he's talking about
trilogy at all.
Bitches Brew, In a Silent Way, and Kind of Blue. I know it's not a trilogy, but he wants the big 3. All right, let's moving on to Freddie Freeball with adding Wynton Kelly
Freddie
and
Freeloader.
Freeball or Loader.
I can't believe you said Freddie Freeball.
Oh, I saw I was reading Cannonball, and I literally said Freddie Freeball. Oh, shit. We don't talk about
Oh
that.
my god.
We don't talk about that.
Miles Davis freeballing on this track.
It's incredible how easily because they're not really doing anything differently, but they create a completely different tone immediately.
Freddie Freeball. Listen, things happen. It actually was not a football reference.
It was
I just
just being
slipped a tongue.
stupid.
It was literally just a slip of the tongue.
Boy, chat is enjoying that.
one slip at a
Should we
time.
call Ryan Freddie Freeloader
For the rest of the stream.
for the rest of time?
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Ooh, play that piano. Oh, fuck, this is such good music. Noah, can you move the league pass to a different monitor so we don't get
Hey, I'm
taken
enjoying
down?
it.
I don't want to get taken down for Noah watching league pass.
God damn it, dude.
Or move
You
the
know,
camera. Thank you, Cosmic. I'm glad you enjoyed my hair.
Fine, I'll swap monitors.
Someone
Right.
Hey, I heard that. What instruments do we play? Noah plays guitar. Cole's
Bass,
learning
piano.
guitar and a little bit of drums, right, Cole? I think you're trying to learn drums.
We'll see.
Let's see. And I don't play shit. Somebody needs to tell me when Wynton Kelly's solo comes up. I want to hear that one. Somebody told me it's insane on this one.
That is an interesting Godspeed reference. Show us your screwdriver guitar technique.
T-harp.
That's cool. T-harp is really interesting. At least it is interesting if it's what I'm thinking of. If it's the same thing as an omnichord.
That scale was so cool. You're I can't talk. A sax player for 9 years. Wow. Can you take on Mr. Coltrane? You think you can take him?
That might be Cannonball. I don't know.
That might be Kelly.
Cannonball.
Oh. Oh, yes.
I'm guessing this is the Wynton Kelly solo.
Yeah, this sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's
Oh, wow. That's an awesome window. It's so fucking cool that Davis basically just pulled a drummer and a bass guy. Just repeat the same thing with a little bit of progression every now and then. And let's let these motherfuckers solo the hell out of it. And then just record it. That's what this album is, eventually.
That's what a lot of Miles Davis albums are. Like live jams.
but he took some of the best at their instrument that were alive.
Found them.
Yeah. And just threw them out there and said, give it a rip. Let's see what you got.
You also found Herbie Hancock.
Who?
Herbie Hancock.
Really? I've heard that name. I don't know why I recognize it,
It's probably my third favorite jazz musician of all time.
but is this Paul Chambers or is this Coltrane?
I've never looked up who's performing, like, so...
I'm very interested.
This is Cannonball. I heard the bounciness. He's playing just swings more.
I love that part he does. Oh, that's so fucking good. Piano is my spirit instrument. That's a great take, or great instrument to pick.
Hugo, that's actually an idea that I had that I was gonna tell them about at some point.
You got a few ideas.
Track reviews.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we just do like that buy me a coffee thing
yeah.
and like
We thought about setting it up.
like $2 we'll review any song that's under like 7 minutes or something. Or like $5 longer ones.
Thought about buy me a coffee. Thought about some Patreon stuff. We got a lot to discuss about that, what we can do with it. Oof, there we have it. Freddie Freeloader. Such a... That melody is just kick-ass.
This has not been confirmed yet, ATV.
Chill out, brother. Chill out. We'll tell you when we launch something. Cole, you're up first. Freddie
Yeah.
Freeloader.
Another humdinger right here. This one I feel like is a little more upbeat, a little more. This song almost sounds like you're just like walking down the street. To me, that's kind of the vibe I get from it. You're just having a nice day walking down the street and looking at shit. That's really the vibe I get from this song, and it's great.
Completely agree.
And I think they nail. I mean, the performances are perfect yet again. Fun mood to this one. A little more bounce in it than So What. I wouldn't say I like it quite as much as So What. I feel like the solos on So What are a bit more memorable. I just think they're a little stronger. But still, really, really good song. 8.5 to a 9.
2 out of 9. I completely agree with what the vibe this one creates. It's just that doom 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 bass line just rivets throughout this song, and I love the swing element to this one. Every solo seems to have a little bit of swing in it. It gives you a little back and forth melody that they're doing. This one definitely creates a different vibe than So What does. A little bit of an atmosphere, something you could just chill and relax to. And I mean, you could chill and relax to this whole album, but this one especially. I think the name Freddie Freeloader, while I have no idea if there was someone they were referencing or talking about, but the name Freeloader, I mean, just seems to be like something like you're just there and you're just chilling. You're just freeloading on maybe like a train, or I mean, I assume they're saying like they're hopping on a runaway train, just sitting on the side of a train wherever it goes it takes you, and you're just listening to this, and that's what I picture in my head when I hear this song. I love the smoothness. I love the swing of it, like back and forth. It's got a whole lot of different parts, but I wanted to say that first saxophone solo was fucking great. I mean, it was really, really good. The other solos were good, not as good as the So What solos, but they were good. I'll give it an 8. Noah.
I know it still is modal jazz, just based on the way it is structured, but I think this song gets a little close to swing at points.
Definitely some
Just
swing
with the
elements.
overall bounciness of the root instruments that are keeping the rhythm, like the bass, drums. I think it had a lot more swing to it. Same with the cannonball solo on the song. I'm gonna guess it was him. It was definitely swinging a lot more. But I will say I like the solos on the first song a little bit more than this one, except for one solo. The solo that came around the 4 to 5 minute mark, which I'm gonna guess is the Wynton Kelly solo.
Is that the first saxophone solo?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But he came in absolutely swinging.
Oh yeah,
moving all over the place, just flowing all over the song in a way that perfectly fit it. That was definitely my favorite brass solo so far on the album. But in total, I like the song a little less. I'd give that an 8.5.
8.5. Probably just because it was a wee bit more simple than So What. Didn't have as much element that changed up there. Okay, let's see, chat. I might have to drop a couple bucks just for a track review then. Well, we'll figure out what we're gonna do with it. We'll let you guys know. 9 out of 10 from AT Field. Certified Hood Classic. 10 out of 10 from Icy Roo. Charles Mingus played music with Miles Davis from 46 to 53 and Blues Moods. 1955 was made on Mingus's label. Wow. Can you imagine being in a room with Charles Mingus and Miles Davis? That just, whew. The things that were conversed in that room is crazy. Cosmic, I usually don't like jazz, but I love that. 11. Wow, okay. I much prefer the melodies here. Only complains it goes on a little too long. 9 from Hugo. Nice, just bouncing down the street. Exactly, Wendell. 9.7. What?
Thank you, Eep. Thank you.
Oh,
very much.
you do look like you'd be an assistant coach right now.
Did someone say that?
Yeah, Eep said that.
Oh. 9.7 from Rickster. One also part. Oh, it's hard for you to get into, but you still give it an 8 to an 8.5. All right, Jonathan. Shadow Song, 8.5. Who's Eep? What?
That's her name.
Her name is Eep?
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I call her.
Oh.
But,
I didn't know you called her
like
Eep.
a special teams coach right now, Cole.
Oh my
Big
god. All right. Up next, we have. When I get to it, we're blue and green. There we go.
Oh boy.
It's a little different one right here. Now, this is some jazz club shit right here.
This is a classic.
That trumpet. Holy shit.
Thanks for stopping by, AT Field. Have a good one.
Have a good one. 8.9 from Cav Queens. Right out the gate with that trumpet. Holy. You lived in West Hollywood in 81, Rickster? What a time to live in Hollywood. Shoji Productions gives it a 10. Go ahead, Noah.
Percussion on the song's really cool because I'm pretty sure that in one hand he's using a brush, in the other hand he's using a regular stick. You can hear him brushing along.
I definitely hear the brush.
Yeah.
I don't know if I hear a stick though.
Might just be using. Yeah, there it is.
There's a cymbal tap.
Yep, with the stick.
This dude is so fucking good at saxophone. That flurry of... I love it. I fucking love it. It's like a little burst of energy you get, and then it's just back to smooth. Bill Evans is killing this piano. Just slaying it. Rickster, you were a celebrity chef for Michael Jackson? Good for you, man. It's single cymbal tap every 2 minutes, but it feels so right. Oh, you alright, bro?
Fuck.
Alright. That was blue and green. And if you don't mind, I'd like to go first.
Man.
Wow. Boy. If that's not just musical genius at work, I don't know what else is. Every single note is just perfect. Everything they do here, from the brush stroke on the drum to a slight tap to a cymbal tap like 3 total times in the entire song, but perfectly placed, to the gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous saxophone throughout this song. And then, of course, it starts off with an incredible, loud, right in your ear trumpet blast, but it's beautiful sounding. Oh my God. They just didn't do anything wrong. There's just nothing bad. It just sounds perfect. Everything is well done. Bill Evans' piano throughout the entire song is gorgeous. I said at the very beginning, it sounds like a jazz club song, and that's probably because that's exactly what the fuck it is. And it is so. I mean, the amount of imitations that have come from this song in the future in just different movies and TV shows, or the amount of times it's probably been used in movies and TV shows, too many to count. And then one last thing I wanted to point out was just that I just wish it was longer. It's 5.5 minutes. Why is this the short one? This is so good. Why did this have to be half the length of everything else? It's an easy 10. It's an easy 10. Cole?
Some of the most beautiful performances ever recorded. I mean, especially, I think, Bill Evans at the end of that song. His piano playing is, like, unbelievably emotional and just absolutely beautiful. And I mean, Miles, his trumpet playing, even for as loud as he's playing, like those shots of horn, like it still somehow makes sense in a ballad, in a jazz ballad, which is what the song is. And Coltrane, it's like the best version of his album Ballads that he comes out with later. It's like the best version of that, his performance here. And I mean, it's some of the most beautiful music that I've ever heard. I mean, it's just fucking gorgeous.
Oh,
it's so peaceful and meditative. I adore this song. 10.
Noah, are you gonna be the odd one out?
Well, I'd like to talk first.
Fair enough.
That'd be cool.
Go ahead.
Solos are amazing, but I think what really puts the song together is the backdrop that they created with the very light percussion, the great piano playing whenever he's not, being the solo instrument. His piano playing is incredibly tasteful, and I understand why the song is the shorter one.
You do?
Yes, it's the slow burn. The other songs had more pace to them. The song just makes sense for it to be shorter.
I kind of see that, but I feel like you could add more solos.
No, I think that the slower paced song should have been shorter. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite Miles Davis solo so far on the album. Big fan of the mute or whatever he put onto the trumpet to achieve that sound. I think it fit the song perfectly. But yeah, the Bill Evans solo is definitely my favorite on the song. Yeah, that's a classic. That's a 10.
Oh, the rare 3 10s. Many albums together, though, I can understand why. All right, chat, let's see. 10 out of 10 perfection from Shadow. 10 out of 10 out of 10 from Rickster. I love that. 10 from Cab Queens. 11 from Cosmic. Just kidding. It's a 10 from Icy Roo. The song makes sense to be short. Okay, I mean, I guess I don't know. I could have listened to that for another 20 minutes, to be honest. That wouldn't have bothered me whatsoever. No need to make a sober track really long and extend it. Fair enough, I guess. I can understand what you're saying about the pacing, Noah. I do. I mean, when you have a slow burner and it's paced slow, but I don't know. It could have kept going for me. God, I love the song. You could just cut the mood here with a knife. Every note from the piano tickles my brain, and the percussion is just perfect. Hugo, you always have a very unique way of wording the way you feel about songs. It's always very unique. Actually, the first time you're going to give this a 10. Wow. First time? Really? Okay. All right. 10 out of, I don't think I saw a single below 10 in the chat. Damn. Noah looking like a cutie stoner tonight. No, you're looking like a cutie stoner, bro.
Stoner, because my eyes are small. This looks like I'm tired. I'm not tired, I promise.
All right. Next up. God damn it. I have to click into it.
All blues.
Yeah. All blues. little bit of pace on this one. Oh, it would have been a 9.9 for at least 5 years. The influence got to you, Hugo.
Listen to this. Black Country New Road influence. Miles Davis stealing shit. What the fuck?
There are other jazz albums I like more, but I gave this masterpiece with an offer of as much credit. So that was only a 9. Wow, Jonathan, the only one to go below a 10.
Another song playing with that brush.
I love the brush. I love the effect. I think it's fantastic. It's such a different way of doing percussion than what we have nowadays. And it works too. Like, you still hear it.
Well, I know it was a compliment. And I very much appreciate it.
Holy Hemorrhoids gives every song a 10. 10 out of 10 album, 10 out of 10 for 5 straight songs. That might be a record.
And now it goes back to the 2 sticks.
It's almost like if you isolate the drums, it would just be basically like a marching band beat, but she works it so well in this.
Pretty jazzy beat. He's like a marching band to me.
I mean, it turns out like mainly what I'm referring to is the snare effect. How it's just coming like.
I'm not getting that.
But he's not doing that.
You gotta listen to it a bit. I know what you're gonna say. I've heard this 100 times. Miles is maybe the best jazz trumpeter ever.
Drumming anywhere near that best.
I don't know how to say her name because it's just a symbol of a map sign, so I don't know how to say it, so I'm just gonna say E, because it looks like an E. But there are many jazz artists that are better in your opinion. I don't know about that. Hugo, there are 2 better Miles Davis albums? Wow.
At least
Make that
one.
argument.
Alright.
Depends on what you think they are.
We saw your
Right.
answer, your takes for this poll.
Cast a judgment.
Try another one real quick. I don't know if he created that, but it is so fucking good. Oh, what a scale.
Let's go Celtics. And they tied it up at half. They were down for the majority of the game. Good times here.
To the Pistons.
We're acting like the Pistons aren't a good team in the Big 25.
Cole's turning people back on that chocolate milk, man. Fell out of the American public there for a while, and he's bringing it back.
Gotta keep it alive.
Oh, just blast it, baby. Right in my ear. That's incredible how fast he's playing that. I don't know if that last note was intentional, but
I felt like a goof, but he followed it up with doing a line from that spot. So if it was, he did a good job improvising his way out of it.
he worked his way. Yeah, he made it work. Thank you, Cosmic. Yeah, you guys should join our Discord and our Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Cosmic, the real MVP. I know jazz is often built on swing, but this album doesn't have a ton of it, and yet it still manages to be a bit swingy sometimes.
That it does. The melodies at the core of these songs are so fucking catchy. They're so simple.
I think the structure of this song has been the easiest to follow out of every song on the album so far. They've kept it pretty simple. They found a really good groove and kind of kept to it.
It might be the groove grooviest song on the album.
It might. That is a great list.
Dang. No Pharaoh Sanders.
No Charles Mingus.
No Coltrane.
No Davis. Nina Simone is great too. You're right. Love this little solo here at the end. All right, that's gonna go into the next song, but there it is, all blues. No, we'll throw it back to you again.
I feel like this is maybe the easiest song to get into on the album, except for maybe Blue and Green. The structure, they keep it pretty simple with the other ba bum ba bum ba, and they can change the different, up and down different pitches throughout the song. They kept that pretty simple. All the solos on the song are equally pretty damn good. I don't think one stands out high above the rest on this one. I think everybody gave a consistently pretty good performance. This one just doesn't make as good of an atmosphere for me out of the other tracks. I don't know. This song doesn't put me in a
Not a vibe
certain
creator for
mood.
you.
Yeah, it doesn't do as good as at creating a mood for me as the rest of the songs do, though it's still a very good song. I would
Okay.
give that an 8.5.
8.5. Cole.
I know they're fucking great song on the track list, so it's gonna be a redundant statement because they're all great songs. But this might be the grooviest song on this album. It might have the best drum groove possibly on this album. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, they're keeping all the performances here probably more simple, and I guess they're just not. They don't really have as many moments where they get loud on this one. Although they're never really that loud on this album, but I think you know it. But yeah, it's just a consistent, it's just a really consistently great performance by everybody involved. I'd probably give this one a 9.
So I'm gonna be more leaning towards Cole or Noah here. Great performances all around. Nothing that stood out spectacularly though. No crazy mind-blowing solo. Great groove throughout the entire track. Probably the only real complaint I have is coming from Blue and Green, which is just a 5-minute song, to this, which is an 11, almost 12-minute song. I definitely think this is a little too long, considering the solos weren't fantastic or anything by any stretch. They were good, even great, but they weren't nothing was stood out. So I don't really know if we need all the different solos we had. We probably could have cut a little bit off of that, made it more timing like So What's type of song. I do love that this was the I mean, they call this all blues. It's not really a blues track, but it's got a lot of grooviness to it, which is fantastic. I think the best thing I can say about this, the piano playing in the second half of this album is just so fucking good. I mean, throughout the album it's good, but it really takes off after Freddie Freeloader, and I'm such a huge fan of it. But I am gonna give this a 8 as well though, because I do think it's just a little long on the overall. All right, let's see. 9.5 from Jonathan. Big all blues fan there. Requires a quiet space to enjoy this music to the maximum. There's some concentration involved. 10 out of 10 Kind of Blue from Shoji Productions, who a big fan, Kind of Blue fan. The album is flawless, best album to introduce someone to jazz. That's a great point, actually. It is a good introduction album. 9 out of 10 from Shadow, 10 plus from Rickster, 3 jazz analysts. Yeah, Alex, thank you. We're big jazz analysts right here. I actually prefer the second half of the song over the first. Gonna agree with Noah. Most of the song doesn't have as good a mood to it. 8 to 8.5. A 9 from Cosmic. Feels like it meanders a little bit around the 5-minute mark from Hugo. Yeah, it's probably a little too long. I would say there's definitely a little bit of a stretch where you could have skipped that.
This whole album feels so well paced. It feels like these songs never feel like they're 9 minutes or 11 minutes long to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It feels super tight.
And then a 9 from Cap Queens. And if you can give me just good pause. Give me just 20 seconds. I will be right back.
How we enjoying it? Yeah, how we feeling?
How many of y'all is this your first listen to like a jazz album? Because I know most of our fan base is like pretty much just rock fans.
Yeah, a lot of Zeppelin fans too.
And I don't know how far back y'all really go when you explore music, because this is I think this is probably the oldest thing we've ever reviewed.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Where are we at with chat?
James Diamond has landed.
James Diamond, what's up, James Diamond? You got here just in time to see the very last song on Kind of Blue, Mediski Martyr. What? Okay. I am missing in action. Yeah, I just had to use the facilities. That's all. All right, time to end one of the greatest jazz albums for sure of all time. Kind of Blue with Flamenco Sketches. Join you for the epic on Friday. What's the epic?
Mossy Washington.
That's a big album, man. That's a 3-hour album.
Who mentioned Led Zeppelin?
I mentioned rock. Oh,
See my cat? I don't even see my cat. This feels like one of those end of the album songs. Oh. Popped it a little closer to the mic on that.
Tickling my brain.
In a good way.
Yeah, of course.
God damn, that is elite saxophone play. That was a dry note right there. What are they quoting in chat? What song?
Not sure.
Oh, fucking hell, man. That wiggle at the end of every line is so good. Yo, was he hitting that cymbal with a brush?
No.
Might just be hitting it really light.
Just like a little. Lightest little tap. Dum, 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 dum. God, shout out Bill Evans, like, for the 13th time this album. I don't know if he gets enough love for this shit, but he deserves it.
I'm sure he does with jazz fans.
Miles Davis used to call him and just have him set the phone up on his piano so he could listen to him play.
What a legend! That's so amazing. Imagine being able to just call up somebody like that and be like, hey, Bill, play me some piano real quick. Just strums out 10 minutes of this. Please, YouTube, don't take us down. Let us finish. I beg of you. You can't take Mr. Davis down. Well, Shoji, how about gonna have to stick around and wait till our final rankings? Then we'll let you know.
Be in like 2 minutes.
God, I've been just swaying back and forth for like an hour. And I love it. Wow! Cole with the deep sigh as he has to end kind of blue. A little sadder now, are you? Go for it, Cole. Start us off then. Flamenco Sketches.
Might be a minute. Oh boy. All right. I guess the first point that I wanted to make is that Noah made a comment earlier that he felt like it worked a lot for Blue and Green being the shortest song on the album. And I understand the length of Blue and Green, I do. Because I feel like you could almost make any of these songs like borderline any length and they would still work because they're being played by some of the greatest artists who have ever existed. But this is kind of my counterpoint to that of like, this is basically kind of Blue and Green, but 4 minutes longer. And it's fucking amazing. This is my favorite song on this album. I mean, this is a 9.5 minute slow burner jazz ballad right here, and I think this is one of the most beautiful ballads in the history of music. I mean, the same thing goes for Blue and Green, but I just feel like it's just more of some of the most beautiful music that I've ever heard in my life. The performances are amazing. Bill Evans is a man possessed on this song, and I feel like they just do it just as well, but for 9.5 minutes this time. And these are the kind of songs that I get completely obsessed with, because you can just get completely lost in the sound because it's long enough for you to do that at fucking 9.5 minutes. But this doesn't feel anywhere near 9.5 minutes to me. This song feels like it's 5 fucking minutes. I mean, the atmosphere is unbelievable. And I can't get enough of stuff like this. I really can't. I'm definitely feeling a 10.
Noah, you want to respond?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know if I really see the Blue and Green but longer thing. The solos on this song seem a bit faster paced. The song seems to be moving a little bit more at a quicker pace. Not quick, but a little more. I kind of got lost in this one. I kind of always get lost in this one. I think this song, mood-wise, probably the second best on the album. I don't know, there's something about it that just allows me to zone out and get very relaxed to it. Yeah, the piano. That was definitely what stuck out to me the most. At least what my favorite solo on the song was. Around the 6 minute mark, I believe it was. This song, I wouldn't call it the best on the album. I would definitely call it the second best. I would give this, I'll also give it a 9.
Ooh. So yeah, I wanted to say that I am definitely in Cole's camp on this. I mean, this is just such a beautiful, get lost in a sauce, slow burner of a song that has incredible sounds. Of the solos that come in on this aren't like blowing my mind like some of the songs on here, but they hit some incredible note peaks. They really do at times, and then you could just it's just so fucking smooth, so you just get lost in it for like 7 minutes. and you're just enjoying and swinging along to this slow but methodical instrumental that comes in and just blows my mind, at least from every time I hear it. I love Miles Davis on this. I think he has the best solo on it. The trumpet just sounds fantastic. And just like, I do get the Blue and Green similarities in terms of a slow song that comes in and just...
Imagine saying they're the two ballads on this album. Is really all I meant.
But I don't think it has as much attraction level as Blue and Green does in terms of like the solo capabilities there. That being said, I am in agreement with Cole, and this is a 10 as well. I mean, just a gorgeous, beautifully done song. All right, chat, let's see what we got. This should be okay.
Hold on. What are we serious about what, Miguel?
Guys, are you serious?
Yes, if we're serious.
Miguel,
Serious about what?
Angel, Castrillon, Afonso. Serious about what? Let us know. Okay. Shadow says, so sexy, 10 out of 10. Jonathan, 8.5 to a 9. James Diamond, meaty okra, 4.0. Love a diamond take. Okay. 10 in the album is a 10 from Rickster. Cole W, 10. Bass take. Bro, holy Lord.
Oh.
J Cole or like W Cole.
I'm so sorry that I'm right all the time. I'll try to not be.
Yeah, I think honestly this song did not remind me of Blue and Green. It did in some ways. I think Blue and Green had a little bit more of the catchiness to it, though, in terms of some of the solos. It was his own thing in a way. This is a 10 from Cab Queens. Everything moves so well on this song. Pacing is just incredible, or pacing absolutely incredible. Don't quite know if I'm in love with the trumpets as much as the other tracks. A 9 from Hugo. All right, well, it's final rankings time. All right, for those of you who've never been here before or brand new people to the channel, what we do is we take our top 3 songs on the album, we put them in order, we give the album a 1 to 10 ranking, and then we give our final thoughts on it. Only 5 songs deep, so it shouldn't be too difficult to figure this one out. But let's start with Noah, probably the lowest on the totem pole for this album. Let's get him out of the way right off.
3, I'll go So What. 2, Flamenco Sketches. Number 1, Blue in Green.
The only song you gave a 10 to.
Yeah, I think there's 110 on this album, which is not a bad thing.
I didn't say it was.
I know, I'm just saying it for anybody who might think it is. But, yeah, it's an amazing album. It's probably... It might be my favorite modal jazz album. Actually, no, it's not.
Oh?
Here's one that comes a little later.
Okay.
But the solos on this album are phenomenal. It's crazy how he was able to assemble such a group of guys with such amazing chops at their own respective instrument.
Insane.
And have them blend together so well.
Insane.
I don't really have much issue with this album, except for just a couple times the mood probably didn't hit me the way that they wanted it to. But yeah, overall, it's an amazing album. I'd give it a 9.
9. All right, I'll go next. My top 3 will be So What at 3. 2 is going to be Blue and Green, and Flamenco Sketches at number 1. Absolutely love this from the very first listen I ever had. I thought this I don't think it was the first jazz album I ever heard, but it was like 2 or 3, and I was like, that's it right there. That's what I love about jazz. That right there, to be able to get absolutely lost in it for 10 plus minutes, sometimes 9 minutes or so, and just let the smoothness, and it's not super swingy, but there is swing elements in here take over. I love swing jazz just as much as anyone else, but I also love really smooth jazz and some type of jazz that you would think like you would listen to in like a jazz club, or like even, I mean, I've compared jazz sometimes to like elevator music. That's not like an offense thing at all. It's meant to be like something that you just like everyone can casually listen to and enjoy. And I think this one absolutely does it to a perfect extent. I mean, there's no lows here. If Freddie Freeloader being an 8 is the lowest I go, or I guess all blues, but Freddie Freeloader was probably the lowest I went. on a song here. There's nothing wrong with this album whatsoever. It has some of the most incredible jazz artists of all time. Just Miles Davis brings in to let him solo and do whatever they want behind it, and these fantastic instrumentals with the piano. Shout out to oh god, I already forgot Bill Evans. There we go. Shout out to Bill Evans for just an incredible piano work throughout the album, especially on the second half, and Miles Davis with the trumpet, of course, and the saxophone work on all the songs. Whether it was Coltrane or any of the other players who did sax, just an incredible work. I will give my final thought on whether it's the greatest jazz album of all time as soon as Cole finishes, but I'm going to give this album a 9.5. Cole?
Alrighty. My top 3, unfortunately, is going to be the same as Ryan's. So What at 3, Blue and Green at 2, and Flamenco Sketches at 1. Boy. I mean, this album to me is such a, like, kind of the beginning of Miles Davis just really dominating music for a while. Just him kind of proving that there's just nobody as good. There's nobody as good as him at like creating things like mood, atmosphere, emotion in songs that have no lyrics. I mean, because he's basically conducting all of them to do what they're doing. I mean, he's, obviously none of this is written down, obviously, but he's the one giving them guidance and structures to work with, and they're being some of the most talented musicians that have ever lived, obviously knock it out of the fucking park. But yeah, I think this album is really the beginning of Miles Davis becoming one of, if not the greatest solo artist of all time, in my opinion. And again, it's just because of how well he captures mood and atmosphere, and how palpable he makes it to me, and how ambitious he was, because this is a really ambitious album for the time. Yeah, I'm pretty handily feeling a 10 on this album. I think this is one of the top 25 greatest albums ever made.
I can
and easily the best album
that.
of the 50s.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Completely understand that. All right, but real quick, before we go, somebody wanted us to say, do we think this is the greatest jazz album of all time? Noah, I'm fairly confident. I know. Well, there you go. Noah just straight up says no. Cole, let's hear you.
No, I wouldn't call this one the greatest jazz album of all time. I think Miles Davis has at least one album better than this one.
So I do not think this is the greatest jazz album of all time either, but I will say this is number 2 to another jazz album that is not by Miles Davis, but it is fantastic nonetheless. But I do think this is an elite level jazz album, and somebody said this is a great way to enter if it's like your first time listening to jazz. It's a perfect album for you to listen to get into it, and I agree. I think this shows off not just the swing side of jazz, but also the sort of free form type things that you have in jazz all the time. So a banger way to get into it as well. But I do agree. Not what about Cole said about top 25. I do think this is probably a top 30 to 35 album for sure. Noah, would you put this top 50?
Probably not.
Oof. Damn. All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, there it is. What?
So perfect.
I think
it's not his best album.
I don't think it's his best album either, but he's a fucking genius.
He's pretty damn good.
He's a cosmic genius.
Okay, a little too far.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you
Top
guys
5
enjoy.
artist that's ever lived.
Ooh.
Without question. I don't even know how you would debate that.
I'm not even going to debate it with you.
Spicy takes going on right now. All right, thank you guys so
the
much
5
for
greatest
watching.
artists of all time.
I'll just say no, not debate it with
Solo, groups, don't care. He's top 5, and he's probably in the top half.
Probably top 15.
He might be the 3rd greatest artist of all time.
Oh, wow. Okay, major props.
You could call him the greatest artist of all time, and I'd be like, I don't really have a great argument against that.
Well, we all know where Cole's stand. right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. Let us know in the comments down below whether you think this is the greatest jazz album of all time and where you would place Miles Davis on the jazz artist list. And hell, just for fun, where you would place him on the greatest artist list of all time as well. If you did enjoy, leave a like down below, hit subscribe, hit the bell. We do all of these live and you get notified when we go live. So make sure to click the bell. Follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, links in the description, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, chat, what do we think about well, this album, but also Miles Davis? Let's see. Thank you for sharing this album. Rickster is out. Love you. Thank you, Rickster. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you for coming. I doubt he was actually quoted as saying that, James Diamond. I'm not going to say it out loud, though. Unfortunately. Hugo, 1, Blue and Green, 2, Flamenco Sketches, 3, Freddie Freeloader. Again, no, took the words right out of my mouth. Just going to give props to incredible pacing as well. Also feeling a 9 from Hugo. This album feels so Americana, saying as a Dutch person. Jonathan, it was weird because you said you weren't feeling it so much, but you also gave it like 8 to 8.5 or higher on almost every song. So very interesting ratings from you. 10 from Shadow. Love your commentary. Cole, top 25 album is accurate. This might land in the top 80s.
I'm just never wrong.
Hugo, only feeling it as a top 80 album. All right. For the three of you, what is your favorite jazz album of all time? Favorite, but he didn't say best.
In a silent way.
In a silent way for Cole, or for Noah. Cole?
Probably Bitches Brew.
My favorite is also what I believe to be the best, and that is Black Saint and Sinner Lady. By sorry, Charles Mingus. Yeah, sorry, I was just scratching my ear. But yes, I do believe that happens to be the best and my favorite. I think this was the third or second jazz album I had ever heard. It's a great starter for sure, no doubt. Miles Davis was married to Cicely Tyson. I don't know who that is, but good for Miles Davis. He is a trendsetter, a cultural icon next to music. Well, I can't disagree with it, Jonathan. I certainly can. He influenced so many people. And A Silent Way was the first one. That's also a great jazz album. 1, All Blues. 2, Flamenco. 3, Blue and Green. Wow, Jonathan, all blues fan. Okay. Cole, you're wrong plenty. Calm down. Same as Noah. I listened to this and Blue Train the same day. Well, there you have it. Why do you call her? Why do you call Pink Cosmic Eep? I don't get it.
Because that's what I call her.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Shoji Productions. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, appreciate you guys coming out for the Miles Davis Kind of Blue album. The next stream will be Friday, and we will reluctantly, according to the poll that you guys voted on, we will be doing Umaguma in our next stream. We will not be doing the live ones. Just get over it. Get over it. We're just doing the studio songs. But yeah, Umaguma shall be coming on Friday's stream. And anything else you guys want to add? Oh,
have a good day.
Have a good day or a good night wherever you guys are. Do the Charles Mingus one. Oh, well, I guarantee you we'll do Black Saint and Sinner Lady at some point. Looking forward to it. I know you are, Hugo. You and apparently a lot of demonic people in our Discord are looking forward to it. Yeah, stay tuned for that on Friday. And there's something else, but I can't remember, so it must not have been important enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you